This is the At the Iowa Farm Table podcast, where we look at what does and does not work in the food system from right here in the middle of the country, Iowa. I'm Beth Hoffman, author and food journalist, and this podcast is a production of the Iowa Food System Coalition. Missy Lukes is the director of the First Lutheran Food Pantry in Wright County, Iowa.
I actually remember a very specific time last summer where I had an individual reach out to me at 3 a.m. via our Facebook page asking about when they could get food. And it just really broke my heart because I knew that they were lying awake at night, not being able to sleep, worrying about how they were going to feed their kids.
Hunger is hard to pin down in the U.S. because it doesn't look the same as it does in other places in the world. We don't have famine. We don't see pictures of kids starving or have regions of the country struggling to get food. And the shelves in the grocery store seem to always be full. So how can it be that people are hungry? But on any given day, almost 400,000 people in Iowa are unsure where their next meal will come from, a situation known as food insecurity. That number includes more than 120,000 kids, wondering if they will have food every day. Summer is an especially difficult time for many families. Kids don't go to school, where they often get at least one square meal. Christina Romp explains how summer impacts her family.
My husband is a main provider, and I don't get paid a lot working at the schools. And with prices that have increased so much, it's a struggle sometimes to make sure my girls that they get the nutrition they need.
Romp is taking part in a pilot program called Healthy Kids Iowa, started by Iowa Governor Kim Reynolds. It's meant to take the place of Summer EBT, a federal program that used to serve almost 250,000 kids in Iowa each summer. That's before Governor Reynolds turned down the federal funds in 2024. Summer EBT used to put $40 a month on a card for families to purchase food at the grocery store. Now, Healthy Kids Iowa spends the $40 for families and has them pick up the pre-selected foods instead. Reynolds' plan is expected to serve 65,000 kids, a fifth of what was served through the EBT cards. But Christina Romp is grateful for the Healthy Kids Iowa program.
It was a great experience. I mean, you felt welcome. You didn't feel weird. You know how sometimes people are ashamed to have to go to a food pantry. They don't ever make you feel like that.
The Healthy Kids Iowa program was announced back in May. At the time, one of the governor's main points was that the families would be able to choose the food they wanted. This is audio from the governor's Facebook page.
Families will be able to select $40 worth of fresh, nutritious food monthly that respects their preferences and cultural or dietary needs. We're going to focus on easy-to-prepare meals for kids without compromising nutrition.
But most sites are pre-packing the food, limiting the ability for families to choose. It's just one of the difficulties sites are having in pulling off the new program. Again, Governor Kim Reynolds.
Our new program will provide healthy, nutritious food through our already existing statewide network of food bank providers and meal site partners.
One of the huge issues with the program is that these meal site partners are food pantries, the local church basements or small storefronts where people usually go to get extra food when they need it. But these pantries are already maxed out. All of Iowa's 99 counties reported higher levels of food insecurity last year. They're trying to serve far too many people with little or no funding, especially when the Summer EBT ended last year.
So we serve roughly around 1,000 individuals each month. Last year, households were not receiving additional SNAP funds. That was a tremendous struggle.
Missy Lukes is committed to helping the people of her community. But Healthy Kids Iowa is now taking up a lot of space.
We have a lot more additional items that are coming into our food pantry. So there's much more storage needs, refrigeration and freezer.
And because the pantries are run mostly by volunteers, Luke's now spends oodles of her time coordinating labor to help unpack trucks, pack bags, and hand out items on distribution days.
I don't have a staff. We are a food pantry that relies on volunteers.
To top it all off, Healthy Kids Iowa does not supply any extra funding for all the extra work. So Luke's has to do more fundraising.
We do not receive state funding, federal funding, or county funding. All of our donations are coming from private concerned community members that want to make sure that we have food access in our county.
And did I mention that Luke's and her volunteers deliver food to those who can't come to the pantry? They also have to do all the work to get the word out about Healthy Kids Iowa in their community.
It's a lot more work than our normal day-to-day, and that's a lot of work already. So yes, there's definitely much more on our plates.
These programs are less effective, they're less impactful, they're much more logistically challenging.
That's Paige Chickering. She's the advocacy manager in Iowa for the Save the Children Action Network. I asked her about the logistical issues Healthy Kids Iowa is having, and she reminded me this is not the first time food boxes have been tried and failed.
That distribution model and those logistical challenges are something that's been around for a really, really long time. There are access barriers when sites are only open during working hours. Sometimes parents can't make it there to pick up food. There are logistical barriers with the quality of food we provide, because
where food is picked up, when, who puts the food together in the food boxes, what food goes into the box. We've all been here, done this before.
Have a kiddo who's allergic to one thing or another.
There was actually a lot of research that went into the decision to start the Summer EBT. It's the most cost-effective way to supply food for kids in the summer.
So all of those things went into a long period of research of summer feeding we've been doing in the U.S. for a very long time. And Summer EBT kind of came out of this as the best and most effective way to address child hunger over the summer.
So why? Why did the governor seek a waiver to Summer EBT and refuse the money? Besides the pure politics of it all, it boils down to the healthy part of Healthy Kids Iowa. Legislators and the governor have openly criticized Summer EBT because, the theory goes, if you give families money to spend at the grocery store, they spend it on unhealthy foods.
A lot of the hesitancy to participate in the Summer EBT program has revolved around this idea of making sure that kids are not only getting food over the summer, but getting healthy food. And I think that's a goal that really everyone can agree on, right? We want our kids to be able to eat over the summer. We want to make sure we're getting them healthy food over the summer. I think that's something really unifying.
Again, here's Governor Kim Reynolds when she announced the program.
Healthy kids means a healthy Iowa, so let's make Iowa healthy again.
But how healthy is the Healthy Kids Iowa program? Christina Romp shared with me what was in the box she picked up.
The month of June, they each got a bag of pancake and waffle mix. You know, being kids, they love pancakes. They had spaghetti noodles, canned spaghetti sauce. There was SpaghettiOs with meatballs, individual cups of fruit, individual cups of green beans. We got pears, avocados, shredded cheese, lunch meat.
Again, Missy Lukes.
The Healthy Kids Iowa program definitely gives them an extra boost and an extra just kind of sigh of relief that they know that their kids will have their food access needs met.
It's certain the box helps ensure bellies are full and kids can function, which honestly is the most important part to Christina Romp.
I've never gotten to the point where we haven't had food for days and days. It may be limited, but when I hear I'm hungry, my tummy hurts, I don't feel good, that's what hurts me when I hear that.
While the products in the Healthy Kids Iowa box will fill her daughters' bellies, it's not likely to change eating habits or quote unquote make Iowa healthy again. Again, Paige Chickering.
When we talk about health and healthy foods and nutrition, a lot of times what we're talking about and the way that we measure a lot of success when it comes to improving health is through increasing fruit and vegetable consumption.
Healthy foods are fresh foods.
While the Healthy Kids Iowa program has a really great goal, getting kids healthy food during those summer months, the struggle is that it's kind of taking us a few steps backwards in terms of the research and best practices that we've learned over decades of how to best ensure that kids are getting food over the summer efficiently and effectively.
To be fair, there were fresh pears and avocados in the box, but pears and avocados in Iowa in early July, not only are they two highly perishable items, neither comes from anywhere near this region of the world. Iowa farmers could have supplied blackberries, tomatoes, broccoli, green beans. The list of available seasonal produce in Iowa in the summer is endless. Again, Missy Lukes.
I'd also really love to see more of our products coming from local farmers and being able to uplift those that are working so hard in our state, and being able to support them financially to bring fresher items to those with food access needs.
Buying food from Iowa farmers to feed Iowans and make them truly healthier, it makes good economic sense. As the Governor and Agriculture Secretary Brooke Rollins said in their announcement of the program, it's important to provide for those in need while also doing right by the American and Iowan taxpayer. Again, Paige Chickering.
We know one of the biggest barriers to purchasing healthy food for low-income families is actually the cost. So when we do give families this extra $40 a month over the summer to buy that food for their kids, we already see an improvement in purchasing patterns and in the consumption of grains, dairy, and fresh produce just with the Summer EBT program by itself with no restrictions in place.
As we head into a time with deeper SNAP cuts and less government services, Missy Lukes is concerned about the impact on her pantry and her community.
Of course, it makes me very, very nervous and very concerned. I do worry, too, that there's going to be cuts in the products that we're able to get through the Food Bank of Iowa. I worry that there's going to be higher prices in the grocery store yet. So it's going to put a strain on families. It'll put a strain on those that are receiving SNAP. It's going to put a strain on, I think, our donor families as well.
There are some viable, cost-effective options available. We could again allow people to enroll in Summer EBT in Iowa to limit our costs and labor while giving parents more access to fresh food. And a program already in place, Double Up Food Bucks, allows SNAP recipients to double their money when buying fruits and vegetables.
Really, really successful things happen when we actually incentivize healthy eating instead of just penalize unhealthy eating.
As Paige Chickering pointed out, Healthy Kids Iowa is a step backwards. It offers no better nutrition than the proven Summer EBT card, while also creating mountains of extra work for already overburdened communities. It relies on thousands of volunteers to do what families could do themselves, choose food that works for them. Meanwhile, real healthy innovation is already happening on Iowa's farms, in food hubs, and at pantries eager to serve more fresh foods. They're all sourcing locally grown foods, meeting cultural needs, and feeding Iowans real food, not shelf-stable leftovers. The Iowa Food System Coalition invites you to learn more about Summer EBT and the Healthy Kids Iowa program by checking out our Substack page. You can get involved with the coalition too by joining the Local Food Promise, a commitment to spend a portion of your food budget on food grown here in Iowa. And as always, be sure to get involved. Call your legislator, let them know that we need Summer EBT again in the state. You've been listening to At the Iowa Farm Table, a production of the Iowa Food System Coalition, a group of more than 40 food and farming organizations working to make agriculture in Iowa healthier, more sustainable, and just. Very special thanks to Missy Lukes, Paige Chickering, and Christina Romp. Mallory DeVries was the editor. I'm Beth Hoffman. Thank you so much for listening.